welcome to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry, and this is Monday Quilt Chat. And it's actually on Monday that I'm filming this, which feels very weird, but it feels good in a weird sort of way. I'm usually doing this on Sunday evening, and it's, the day's winding down, and, trying to think about getting my week started and all of that good stuff, but it's Monday. It's daylight. It's the middle of the day is what it is, which is very unusual, but I like it. But I'm still going to stick to my normal 6 a.m. video release on Mondays. This is a little out of the ordinary. So I'm not sure if you're seeing this later on Monday or if you're seeing it Tuesday morning. Either way, welcome. Thank you for coming by to chat with me about my quilty world and all the quilt world news that there might be out there. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to chat about all sorts of different things, and it's just kind of a newsy video. If you're kind of new here, just never know what I'm going to be talking about. Sometimes it's current projects, upcoming projects, opinions, all kinds of sort of stuff. So that's what we're doing. Okay, well, last week my schedule was way different video wise than normal. I had to get all of my videos recorded and edited before Tuesday night was over with. So Mark was going out of town for a few days, and he helps me with the editing, or actually I help him with the editing. He's the one that does all the work. So we got all of those done in a hurry, which was kind of maddening, but we got it done. But the good thing that came out of that is I felt so free all the rest of the week. I'm usually trying to spread everything out evenly all week long that I'm doing, and that didn't happen. I had to just hurry up and get it all done. But I did do some sewing. I got some things done, but that is not mostly what I did during that time. I took the opportunity to do a deep cleaning of a big part of my house. So I did sew every day a little bit, but I mostly just wore myself out doing a spring cleaning. We'll call it a late spring cleaning. It's probably like a couple of years overdue, some of the stuff that I did. And decluttering of closets and the light fixtures and the baseboards and things that haven't seen the light of day for a good while got touched and got cleaned up, which feels really good. And I don't even feel worn out. I should be worn out. However, I am I'm slow at everything. Everything. Sewing, whatever it is, I'm slow at it. I take my time. I'm not on any sort of strict schedule to be anywhere or do anything usually. So, if I'm going to take a day to clean the office, it's going to be the day, even though it doesn't really take that many hours to clean one small room. So I had, most of the day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then this is Monday, most of today, to do some of that stuff. So I had my apron on. I brought you my dirty, stinky apron. Do you all wear an apron when you clean? I'm finding myself doing it more and more all the time. And finally, in my old age, seeing the benefit of wearing an apron when you're cleaning. I made this probably 20 years ago. And look, I even fussy cut my pockets and put a little rick-rack on there. I think this was a McCall's pattern, but this is my one and only iron. This is my one and only apron that I usually use, and we're going to get back to talking about aprons here in a minute, so hang on. There's not just that reason I brought it. Who wants to see an old dirty stinky apron? I want to go throw this in the wash when I go back in. Yeah. All right, what else did I do? Let's just go over my sewing stuff first. I did Pat Sloan's Block Wednesdays for this coming week. So I'm actually, at this point, about a week and a half ahead. So I have this one. I'll have these on Friday, too, if you want a closer look. right now you can kind of see what I did. I took, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different of the jelly roll strips, and just kind of, you know, they look very similar to each other, but they're not. But they'll look good in the row that they go in. So these big old blocks are done, 17.5 inches. And the rest of the blocks are really easy, I think. This is probably, I don't know, is this the hardest one? I wouldn't even call this hard, but you need a lot of room to spread out and arrange these before you start sewing them together. Otherwise, you could twist and turn things around. But it's not hard. So I did those, and Sunday, I got my bow tie blocks out, and I got them all sewn up into 12.5 inch blocks. So I have 33. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking 30 and making it a 5x6 block, and then I'll have 3 leftovers for a table runner. So I have enjoyed doing this. This is a really fast and easy pattern to do. And if you want to do a bow tie block, this is your bow tie right here. This, and this. And you can configure these differently. You can make them all go in diagonal rows. But this is what I chose to do because I wanted to see my golden yellow centers. That's what I wanted to see in my quilt. So as they join together, they'll make more. See, here, here, and on the other 2 sides. So I introduced a sew along, probably, was it early May, maybe? I don't know, May, it wasn't early June, was it? I don't think so. I think it was in May. It doesn't matter. But if you want to go back and find that video, I probably introduced that on a Wednesday video. And just kind of made it a kind of a sort of a sew along. And some of you did send in your pictures, and I've seen some on the Facebook group of your finished tops, and maybe in some cases finished quilts of that sew along. A very good scrap buster. I had 3.5 inch blocks. I had a pile of those, and I used just about every one of them. So those are gone and into a pretty quilt. So I hope to get starting putting those rows together here. Maybe this week. We'll see. Okay, so that's what I did sewing wise through that whole period. That's not a lot, but like I said, I was yeah, busy. Oh, you know what? I think I also did my peaceful baskets. I did. I don't have that. I'll just leave that for Friday. You come back and watch that. The Sew Sampler box we get monthly. We just got that June box, and there's a sew along monthly going with that box, and I'm doing those blocks. So each month has a block pattern in it, and they're all baskets, and you have seen 2 of my baskets so far, so this will be the 3rd one. And I'm liking how that little pattern's coming out. It's going to be a cute quilt, just like the pressed flowers. I enjoyed that so much. I think this one is kind of almost equally as fun as that one was. So let's see, I have a little list here. I don't want to miss anything. My sewing machine name. Now, I showed you the other day that I had switched out my Jazz 2 for the Brother in anticipation of doing a foundation paper piecing star block that I said I was going to do months ago. And I wanted this machine out to do that with, and I will get to that block here before long, but at least I've made progress. I got my Sew Steady inserts on my table. I've been using the machine, getting used to it. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I'm trying to think, is there anything I don't like about it? I don't know. I still need to read the manual and learn how to do some of the decorative stitches and stuff. Yeah, it's working out good. So I'm getting used to it. And I named her, now, you remember that Jazz 2 is named Snow White, right? This one is Cinderella. So the second most famous Disney gal or princess. I don't know if either one of those are princesses. Snow White and Cinderella, I don't think they are. But, you know, the old-timey Disney girl character. So she is Cinderella. And then, let's see, I've got stuff on here I want to talk about as far as stash timber. Not stash timber. No buy July. Why did I say stash timber? Because we are going to be busting our stash in July with the no buy July. That's the purpose of it, right? You're not going to be buying any fabric, no new goodies. If you're doing this with me, if you're not doing this with me, not a big deal. You can pick another month if you want to. But as I was mentioning last week, I think doing this in January and July is going to become a regular thing. And some of you good people out there are doing so well this year, not buying much fabric. Most of you that have said that you were trying to do the whole year have come back and said you're doing it, or at least you're, you know, unless there was a shop hop or something you were involved with, you've been able to cut down on the fabric buying. I know I have. I show you stuff I buy here every week, and sometimes I have stuff, sometimes I don't. Used to, I had stuff every week, a lot of it, and I haven't been doing that. So, and then this week I don't have any new fabric acquisitions at all, so I kind of got started a little bit ahead. I did order on June the 30th. I ordered some grunge that was on sale at Fat Quarter Shop. It was on sale for the month of June, and I just slipped it in there right at the end of June and got those pieces ordered that I wanted. I got 2 big pieces for backgrounds for some Fat Quarter bundles that I have, and that'll probably come in maybe by next week. I don't know. You can see what I ordered. Yeah, we'll talk about that, what colors I got and why. I don't have any other fabric on order. That's it. So yeah, getting started on no buy. And isn't this just wonderful that Monday is also, or July 1st is also a Monday. So it's like the queen of new beginnings to get a first of the month on a Monday. It's like a beginning of the week and a beginning of the month. Love it. Love it. You know how I feel about Mondays. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I love Mondays. It's my favorite day of the week. It gets me charged up every week. Okay, before I get into the stuff for No Buy July, I'm going to go ahead and go through this magazine that I just got. It's Quilter's World Autumn 2024. Does that mean they're just doing 4 issues of this a year? I guess it is. I like this magazine because it's almost exclusively patterns. And they're by Wendy Shepherd, most of them. And then I see a few other designers in here once in a while. But I think she writes a lot of patterns for them. There is a ton of fall-themed quilts in here, projects. I love this. Not necessarily for a fall quilt, but it's called Fall Escapes, and it's little, I tell you, it's little suitcases. Look at that. I'd like to make one just to have as a wall hanging. I don't know. Isn't that just cute? It's just a cute block. I would just like to make that up as a little mini quilt by itself. But that's genius. Did Wendy do this one? Yes, she did. Wendy Shepherd did this one. Quilted by, oh, so great. Okay, yeah. So everything you need to do this quilt is in here as far as instructions and layout and all of that. And then, yeah, you can just make if you don't want a whole quilt of them, just make one. I think that's so cute. And then you could also, instead of doing the maple leaf, you could do a different kind of block that you like on your suitcase. I just think that's adorable. So I wanted to mention that. I'm trying to think, what else was there in here I liked? tons and tons. Look at this one. Look at these colors. Does that not say fall? That's gorgeous. It's called Scattered Leaves. It kind of has that lattice look to it, but the corners are all filled up with these different colors. Love that. I'm trying to think. I should have scanned this again. Oh, I know. I looked at this a few days ago, so I've kind of forgotten what what I saw in it that I liked. There's a little history here on Hoffman fabrics, which I found interesting. It's a little timeline thing on Hoffman fabrics. They got their start back in the 1920s. And then it's just a timeline of all the different fabrics that they have produced throughout the years. And little did I know that a lot of their history has to do with surfing and Hawaiian shirts. So they're the ones that have come up with all the different fabrics that have been used for Hawaiian shirts. I'm not finding it now. It's just one. Oh, and look at this. Lovely. It's called A Walk in the Woods. It's kind of a spin on around the world, but not really. Where is it? There it is. I think this is just an ad. But there's a whole timeline thing on there. You know, here, and it goes across like this. From 1924 to today. And they set the bar with digital printing in 2012, it says. But it's a family of men that started with Rube, R-U-B-E, Hoffman. And they have kept this in the business. Kept it in the family. It celebrates 100 years as a fourth-generation family business working together to offer your preferred fabrics and to bring joy to all generations. So this is because of, 1924, 2024. So yeah, pick up one of these. It's on stands now, I'm sure. Tons of fall patterns. There was a table runner in there too. It was really cute. I can't show you the whole magazine. Oh, I could, but... Alright. Let's get started on No Buy January and busting our stashes. We can stash bust and we can scrap bust, but they are two different things. You're going to move more of your fabric with the stash busting, but feel free to use your scraps if that's what you need to bust. So, with that being said, I'm trying to think what to tell you about first. Let's talk about this. This is Star of Wonder, and I will put a link in the description box for this quilt. This is a small quilt that you can get done this month. It is 48.5 by 48.5. Some people are using, I think it's kind of not advertised, but it's spoken of as being a Christmas quilt. Of course, I don't do Christmas, but I would like to have a winter wall hanging. Okay, so in my pantry, let me tell you a story. This house we live in had a huge kitchen, just lots of space that you couldn't really use. So we put a wall in with one of those sliding barn doors and made that room a big pantry. In that pantry is the door that goes to the garage and the back door to go out to the back of the house and the laundry room. So it's huge. For a pantry, it's very huge. Usually a pantry is like a closet, or sometimes it's even just one big cabinet. But this is an actual room. There's a bathroom in there. And my house is not big. I mean, it's just a average size house. But there's a little little private area that has a bathroom and just a toilet. That's all it has. So you have to go into the laundry room to wash your hands. Not a big deal. Anyway, there's a freezer in there, a chest type freezer, and above that freezer there's this nice big wall space. So I have had an art journal panel quilt there for a couple of years now and haven't changed it out. And it's the one with the birds. You know, each bird, it kind of looked like postage stamps, and then we had black. It was a Riley Blake kit, and I really enjoyed that. But it's kind of springy. It could go for all seasons, but it's kind of springy. So last year, and I forgot to bring that out here. I was going to bring that out here and show you. I did that Welcome to Summer or Summer Fun or something. I don't even know what it says on it. But it has all these yummy, juicy colors on it, like lime green and watermelon. I think there's even a picture of a watermelon on it. And then I did this piano key border all the way around it. And I need to quilt that. So I took it into the house, or actually I found it in my stash of quilt tops that I need to long arm. I went to find the backing I had for it. Couldn't find it. I think I've donated it or something. I think I thought I was done with the project and I donated my fabric for the backing and the binding. It could still be here somewhere, but I have yet to find it. Anyway, I need to get that quilted up so that can be my summer wall quilt in there. And then I just did the apple one, right? Last couple of Wednesdays I had the apple quilt. That's going to be my fall one. Now I'm going to make a winter one, and I want to show you the fabrics that I have pulled for this. And I've got way more fabric than I need here, but I wanted to pull enough to make sure I had enough, because it's a mystery. All you can print down right now is this, which is the fabric requirements. And it's through Fat Quarter Shop. Also, Pat Sloan is doing this. All in Christmas, I think. But we will get another sheet probably next Tuesday. I think this starts tomorrow, Tuesday, July 2nd. So the following Tuesday will be either tomorrow, maybe? We'll get the first block. I'm not sure. It goes about 5 weeks, so it'll go through July and just a little bit of August, maybe. So you can go to Fat Quarter Shop and download the rest of your pages that you're going to need as they come out, because it's mystery. Stars. I believe it's going to be stars because it's called Mystery Star of Wonder Quilt Along. So I'm going to do this with them. You can do it with me, or you can do it with them, whatever. But this is a quilt you could get done this month, and you will need 10 fat quarters and 2 yards of background and border. 2 yards of background and border, 10 fat quarters. So if you have 10 fat quarters that coordinate and another solid or something that you have along the lines of 2 yards that would go with your fat quarters, you can do that. And, you know, I don't care what you do it in. You can do random. You can do random fat quarters if you've got some of those pesky random fat quarters, which is probably what I should be doing. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you. I have these 3 1 yards. I have cut off of these, but not much. So this is from, I think, last winter. Not this past, but the one before. This is a Wyndham, and it's called Frozen Forest or something like that. Let me see. Wyndham presents Frosted Forest. Frosted Forest. So I'm going to use these for my winter wall hanging. And that way I will have a quilt that I can change out for that area for each season. Isn't that a great idea? So here's some other things that I pulled to go with this. And this is directional, but I'm just going to let these trees fall where they may, depending on what those stars are. I'm not even going to try to keep them going the right way. But here are some things that I have pulled for these. This, which is Stonehenge. This is going to go with it. And I know what you're thinking. Boy, that's boring. But wait. Just wait. How about these? How about let's put these in there too? I'm going to try to show you all of this. I don't know if I can. Let's see. That's not very good. Let me fold this in a way that you can see it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. There you go. So you got the stone cold Stonehenge and the icy blues and then the frosted trees. Is that not good? I think that's good, right? I also have this in case I need it, and I also have a couple of pieces of grunge that I'm just going to hold in the wings as I do this quilt. Now I don't need this much fabric. These are like 1 yards. There's a couple, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 3 fat quarters, but most of them are 1 yards, and actually this is a yard and 2 yards. No, it's 2 1 yards, but they happen to be the same. How did I do that? How did I get 2 1 yards? That's just poor fabric buying right there. That's what that is. So anyway, here we go. That's what I'm going to do. And we'll let the stars fall where they may and the trees. So I'm going to do that. You do yours the way you want to do yours. This is in the description box, this part right here. If the first mystery block comes out tomorrow, which I think it will, tomorrow, Tuesday, July 2nd, I'll pop that in the description box too. And if you're watching this later, you'll have both of them. If not, you'll have to either go to Fat Quarter Shop and get it yourself, go to Pat Sloan's website and get it. Yeah, you'll have access to it. If it's not in my description, it's with them. You can find it. So that's I'm excited about that. An easy project. 48.5 by 48.5. Yes, that will fit on my wall. Alright, the next thing. This is something else. And this is something for me, and I will talk to you about that. The next project we're going to do is going to go also through the entire month, but Wednesday's video will be about this. Talking about my apron. I'm thinking more and more everybody needs to have an apron, and they need to be wearing an apron. So I have an apron pattern that came out through the Fabric Hut newsletter that they send every day, the email that they send out. They always have a free pattern of some kind on their site. And yes, they've went out and grabbed it from somewhere. Could be a fabric company, could be an individual, it could be from a YouTuber, it could be from anybody. But a few days ago, maybe about a week ago, they came out with this as a free pattern. And this is a lined apron. It comes from the Robert Kaufman Fabrics website. It is designed by Erica Wilson, featuring Blossom Bake Shop is what this is called, the lined apron. So this is in my description box right now, so you need to go print this off. What we're going to do is we're going to pick three matching, coordinating 1 yards from our stash to make this apron. And why do I say 3 1 yards? Surely that's not a 3 yard apron. Well, I don't know why it's like this. We're going to find out when I make it. But it calls for a 3/4 yard for the exterior, a 3/4 yard for the pocket, straps, and accent. See the accent at the bottom? Pocket and straps. And then 7/8 of a yard for the lining. So it's a nice lined apron. Okay? So you're going to have some yummy scraps left over, you know, 1/4 yard here and there, 1/8 of a yard. And you can cut those up and put them in with your scraps and have those yardages out of your stash. So here's what I picked. I have this avocado line, and you guys have probably seen this. So yeah, sells it all the time. I haven't seen it lately, but they sold it for a good year, and I finally just got one. I don't know if I was thinking I just gonna buy some to see if they'll just sell it out because again, bad fabric buying. I had no clue what I was going to do with this, but wouldn't it make a cute apron? So a lining, an exterior, and then your trim, pockets, and straps. So one. Here's another one. I've never liked this. I don't know why I bought it. Probably got caught up in something they were saying about it, or happens. We've been there, haven't we? This will make a cool apron. I'll put this small, maybe, or I don't know. I might put this in as the straps. No, I'll probably put this inside, this on the outside, and this as the accent. That's probably what I'll do. And then another one is Koi Garden. Koi Garden or Koi Pond. I think it's Koi Garden. Let me see. I just had this all open, and I've already forgotten. Studio E Fabrics. How come it is that when you really want to get to something fast, you can't? Oh, it's got little koi fish on the... Yeah, Koi Garden is what this is. So there's... I found 3 1-yards of it. I hope that's all I got. Probably so, because you know how they sell those. So yeah, they sell those like that. So I have the peachy orange, the aqua, which looks like water, and then the other one that's like this one. So I'm not sure. I'll probably put, I don't know what I'll put inside or out for that. But I'm going to show you how to cut out more than one at a time so that you can just sit down and sew them all up at the same time. But there's more to this little project. I picked 3 sets here. I'm going to pick one more set in hopes of getting one done per week. Just going to kind of, be conservative with it. I mean, technically, you should be able to make this maybe in a couple hours. Maybe cutting them all out at the same time. It will take less time. I don't know, but one a week. I'm going to pick out another 3-yard bundle. But what I was going to say was, there's more to this. Who needs 4 aprons? I don't need 4 aprons. I don't even need another apron. How about we do something nice? Make these up and randomly gift them. It could be the lady at the bank drive-thru. It could be the lady at the coffee shop drive-thru. It could be your doctor, somebody that you come in contact with, that kind of knows you, but yet it would be kind of a random gift giving thing. And let's get rid of them. Not only are we going to get this out of our stash, but we're going to get it out of our possession as well, and into the hands that somebody could actually use it, because we don't need 4 aprons or 5. So we'll just call that random acts of gift giving. And let me know your stories. I want to know your stories. Put them on Facebook, or you can send me an email. All that stuff is in the description box, however you want to communicate with me. And I'll share those stories, or you'll see them on Facebook. Either way, if they're not on Facebook, on the Facebook group, I will definitely share the ones that come through email. So make your aprons and tell me your story. And if you can get a photo, or at least a photo of your made aprons. Does that sound like fun? I think it does. I think it does. I think it's exciting to think about, just randomly giving someone a small gift. It's something we enjoyed working with our fabric, and we got the benefit of it. We got the benefit of the joy of buying the fabric, touching the fabric, sewing, cutting the fabric, and now we can pass that on to someone that can appreciate it. So we don't know what people will do. And I always say, when I made something and I randomly give it to somebody just because, I usually say, if you don't like this, just pass it on to someone who you think will. So that way, eventually, it should get into the hands of someone who truly appreciates it. So let's try that. It's kind of like a social experiment. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, one more thing that I am going to do this month that I spoke about a while back, and I haven't made any progress with it yet. And that is the Besties Tula Pink line that I was going to fussy cut the animals and put them into blocks using this pattern, Checkmate. So I have a bunch of Tula Pink, but I'm sure I don't have every single one that's called for in this quilt. Let me show you. This was using the, I'm not sure which line it is, the one with the Curiouser and Curiouser. Yeah, that's what was used. So I don't have all of those, I'm sure. So what I'm going to do is use this as a guide to pick my tones. You know how the other day I was talking about how if you've got a quilt pattern you want to do, but you don't have the exact fabric that it's calling for, just go by tones. Like you'd put your darker ones here, and your medium one here, and your light one here and here. Just follow that, and then you're gonna come out with the same effect. So I'm going to get going on this as a new project for the Stash Busting No Buy July activities. So there we go. That's what we're going to do so far. If I think of something else, and I do have one more thing later in the month that I will probably be doing a video on as well, if not more, because this one, let's see, this one here, that's not going to result in a video, the sew along. This one, I'll have that this Wednesday, and then I have one more thing that I'll make a video on for you that's somewhat of a, could be considered a stash buster and a scrap buster. So we'll be doing that, and then I'll probably have one other, I might do another panel video, or maybe a landscape. I don't know. We'll see. Those are two of my favorite things to play with, are the panels and the landscape, freestyle. Okay, so let's look at our, almost forgot. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. Do you know what that is? If there's anybody younger than, I don't know, 50 on here, which most of us are beyond that, right? You probably don't know what that means. Don't touch that dial. Other than, do you even use the terminology dial anymore? It's a knob. Anyway, if you know what the context is of that phrase, put it in the comments below so that the younger folks can understand what I'm talking about when I say don't touch that dial. All right, here is the art quilt of the week right here. And it's 93 by 93. Woo! Star Medallion. Says this original design idea came when Casey decided to use all her scraps to create an eco-friendly quilt. This is, by the way, I didn't say, Casey Tillotson of Glen, New Hampshire. The quilt was time-consuming, but perfect for the days of COVID. Star strips were machine-pieced, then hand-appliqued to black background. Quilted by Deborah Wells on her long arm machine, semi-finalist at AQS Quilt Week, Branson, Missouri. Oh wow, that's a big honor there, to be a semi-finalist at AQS Quilt Week. Yeah, I love the black background, and she applique these to black background. That was a lot of work to applique those on. And then look at all the little strips she's using around the medallion there too. So COVID kind of put all of us in the house and at home with our scraps, didn't it? I know that's kind of how it's both how my sewing hobby was revived and killed at the same time, because I remember making all of those masks. I made hundreds of masks. I can't really calculate, I estimate that I made 500 masks. And I sold them at the beauty shop I was working at. And after that was over with, I didn't really want to look at fabric for a long time. So several months, maybe even a year went by after that initial, run to try to figure out how to get all these masks made. When that died down and the KN95 masks started being produced and all that. So shortly after that, when there was no longer an urgent need for it, I just kind of didn't want to see fabric for a while. It's just not a real fun type of sewing to do those. It was the whole mass production type thing that I don't like. I don't even like to chain piece. So you know what that probably did to me. Anyway, beautiful quilt here shows how you can use your scraps, cut them up into strips and sew them back together and put them in a star shape and throw them on some black, and before you know it, you are a AQS Quilt Week winner. Well, she was a semi-finalist, but that's a winner in my book. So I'm excited. I'm energized. I'm happy. My house is clean. I've done a lot of deep cleaning. That always makes you feel better about spending a ton of time doing some sewing, even though we need to sew a little bit every day. And I hope that that's what you do this week and get your week started off really good for by July. So I will see you on Wednesday for the apron video, and then back around for Finish It Friday to see what I've finished and see what you've finished. Have fun with it, and I will see you next time. Bye.